Hey y'all, this is Melissa. I was just coming on today to share with you all some products for less than $10 each. So, if you want to see how I got this look today, all these products are less than $10 each, so they're cost effective. They're budget friendly. And actually, today is mine and my husband's 15th anniversary. We actually met 15 years ago at, guess where? We met at Walmart. We met at Walmart in the CD section, and we walked around and we talked for a long time. And amazingly, we talked about everything from where we would live to whether or not we would have children, strangely enough. And then we went over to Applebee's and we talked some more. And so we're eating out at Applebee's tonight. But we knew the very first night that God was doing something. We were supposed to be together. And we looked at each other and said, it seems strange, but this feels like forever. And so he invited me to a standing supper date for every night for as long as I wanted to see him. And we have not missed any suppers except the very few business trips that I've had to take in our life together, and the few times that I've gone to the beach with my mom and my sister and I would call him. But other than that, we've shared a meal every day for 15 years. So today, $10 products, and yes, you can get a very nice look even for going out for a nice meal. And the star of this is this Color Profusion palette, and I'm sharing with you today the Wanderlust palette. It's a very nice palette, but all the products today are $10 or less. Most of them are less. That's probably the most expensive item, is that Wanderlust palette. And since they're all $10 or less, why should I use all of my nice expensive tools on this when, if you're on a budget, you may not have expensive tools to use? So I am actually using all tools that are also less than $10. And I don't have a whole lot of tools that are like that, but the ones that I have, those are the ones that I am using for this. And I'm also doing the eyeshadow tutorial using like tools. I'm not using the Rebel Edge tool, so this would be a good tutorial to watch if you want to see how to do the eyeshadow looks that I do using something other than the Rebel Edge. So this would be a good one to watch. So if you want to see how I got this look, stay tuned. Okay y'all, so I'm starting off with Totally Undone Face here, and the first item that I'm using that is under $10 is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I am using this in Ivory. So it comes with its little paddle like this, and I'm going to have to, whoops, turn my mirror a little bit here so I can see what I'm doing. So as you know, I got these makeup sponges at Walmart for $3.98. So I'm using one of the sponges, even though I don't really care for them, to put my foundation on today. Using for under $10 is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Corrector Concealer, and it does actually pretty good. So, and I think it goes for like $5 or $6. I'll have to look up the price for you on this, but it is less than $10. and it really does a pretty credible job. A lot of the Wet n Wild products do a pretty good job. So I've really been pretty pleased with it as far as how it does. And again, I'm going to use the Beauty Blender for it as well, because I normally use a brush for this. And what doesn't happen with this sponge, I'm actually going to use my fingers for, because that is it. Your fingers are a beauty product that everybody has on hand, so to speak. So the sponge isn't doing too bad today, though. Actually, it's one I'm going to use for you right quickly here is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Banana Setting Powder. And I'm just going to set underneath of my eyes here with this, with a damp sponge here. I've actually never set with a sponge before, so we shall see how this goes. To bake that just a little bit, and I may have to use a big brush, even though I may have cost over 10 bucks, I don't know, to brush this away, because it's wee. You know, I don't know how else I'll get this powder off. And I'm going to also set this little bit right down here where I put a little bit of concealer down in here, and just bake that up a little bit as well. Okay. Product for under $5 I'm going to use for you, and I actually use this every day, is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. And for a brush, I'm going to actually use a brush. It probably costs more than $10. I think it probably retails for about 10 or 12. It's a Firma 102. It's like a blush or a contouring brush. But I got this in an Ipsy bag, and Ipsy bags cost $10 a month. Actually, I got it in my one and only Ipsy bag because I really didn't stay with Ipsy. But I'm going to use this for my contour, since I did get this in a cheaper Ipsy bag. Ooh, wow, that takes a lot off there. Wow. Ooh. It's a little harder to use for this, but you know, if it would be all I had to use, I would use it. And there was a time when this was kind of all I had to go with. All right. And I'm also going to use a Wet n Wild smaller brush here for my nose, to contour my nose with. Okay, the next product that I'm going to use for you, and this one is only $1, it's from Dollar Tree, is the LA Colors. It's just a powder compact for just all over powder. For this, I'm going to use just one of these little sponges here. that's from that pack of sponges that I got at Walmart, just to kind of powder everything off a little bit. And get all the shine and everything out. And of course I've already baked part of this, so that helps. Actually, that kind of got powder everywhere when I did that. But for the areas where it didn't, okay, under $10, excuse me, is the Lottie London Blush Crush, and this is in the color Justin. And this blush actually works really well. And again, I'm going to use that Firma brush that I got for $10 from Ipsy for this as well, for blush. And just double duty that brush. Next item under $10, and I think this one also goes for about $5, I'm not sure, is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. And it's actually a really nice highlighter. It did have a really nice, like a swan design on there. You can sort of see it. And I'm just using this little Wet n Wild brush, and these little Wet n Wild brushes, almost all of these go for $1 each. And so they're a really good deal. They're very soft. Probably could use a bigger brush for this, but this is about the only Wet n Wild one that I've got. And I'm just going to sort of tip that right on the tops of my cheeks there. And then I'm going to blend it in with my finger here in just a second. But actually you can do pretty well just doing that. And you can place it approximately where you want it that way. And just sort of swirl it around if you're short on brushes like that. But you know, a lot of people will do these videos of the cheaper products, but then they'll use really expensive brushes, and you're like, well, if you're that shy on money and you don't have the money to get the expensive products, but then they're showing you how to do the expensive products using expensive brushes, that's not a lot of help. So I'm trying to be fairly realistic with how I'm doing this. Well, so yeah, you do kind of have to rub that out with your finger a little bit, but actually rubbing it out with your finger is not a bad thing. Okay, that is the eyebrow pencil, and this is the LA Shady Girl, and it is in the color of brunette, and it has its own little spoolie on the end, which is very handy. So I'm going to go out, get my eyebrows done, and I will be right back. Two things that I'm going to use are this lip pencil. It is called the NYX Smile Matte Lip Liner. And this I got at Walmart for about, I think it was $3.97. And the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit lipstick. And this is in Rebel Rose. And it goes for about $5. And they do really well. The only thing is the catsuit will make your lips just a little bit dry, so I usually put a lip balm or something, which I've already done, on my lips before I use it. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. With liquid lipstick, you don't generally need a lip liner, but I use one. I'm using one today anyway, just to make sure that everything stays in line. Powder. Whew. For eyeshadow, the best thing you can do for under $10 for an eyeshadow primer, there's two options. I actually got my Luscious Angel Eyes on eBay for $10. But if you can't find something like that for under $10, I'm sure there's some eyeshadow primers out there for under $10. But the other option is you can use your concealer as an eyeshadow primer. And that's actually a pretty good option. It works pretty well. So for eyeshadow today, I wanted to show you the Color Profusion palettes. There are a bunch of these out there, a lot of different colors. The one I'm going to use for you today is the Wanderlust palette, and I'm going to be doing some purples because obviously I'm wearing purple. So I'm going to use some of these purples for you. And I have 3 different brushes here that I'm going to use on this today. I have this little Wet n Wild, this little flat shader. I'm going to go ahead and use this bigger Wet n Wild one blender again today. And I also have this little angled brush here that I got on Ulta from Essence. Just a little angled brush. I got that for $1 as well. I may actually use, I also have this little flat brush here. This was part of like a thank you or a welcome package that I got for free from Mary Kay like years and years and years ago. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to start with, there's a gold one here called Chill, or maybe I'll go with, no, I'm going to go with this more silvery one here called Illusion on my brow bone. And I'm going to start with it. I haven't dipped into it yet. I just got that. Let me see here. Yeah, I just got this palette the other day. Oh yeah, that's actually a really nice color. I like that. So I'm going to go on my brow bone from my crease down here up to my brow. All the way over. Yeah, that's actually right nice. Next, I'm going to dip into this color here called Retro. It's almost like a bluish purple, and I'm just going to go underneath of my eyes with it. And I'm using this little Essence brush. Let's see, does this Essence brush have a number? Nope, doesn't have a number. Okay. Oh wow, that gives a nice little tiny line, doesn't it? Well, I may have to reach for this Essence brush again. This is right nice. And actually, I'm also going to reach into this kind of a midnight color right here called Enigma. It's right here beside of Essence. Just to add just the tiniest bit of bluish to that under my eye. And I think that'll make that match this shirt a little bit better. Give it a deepening of that color. Use my sponge here. Got a little bit further over than I wanted. Alright. I am going to use this little Mary Kay brush. And for my V here for this corner, I'm going to go into the color Regal right here. Alright, here we go on this side. You almost have to draw like a triangle there and with this kind of brush and just sort of paint it in, and then just draw over like that and just fill in this way towards your crease, and then just go through your crease like that. Alright, now where I'm going next, using the same brush, I am using Nimbus, which is this kind of a frosty color right here. And I'm just going over the same territory of this darker because that's a matte, and you know me, I want shimmers. I want to sparkle. So I'm going to go into that, and I'm just going to go over that same area again. Yeah, this shimmer doesn't have nearly the fallout that matte does. Maybe I should have just used that in the first place, but I really wanted that darker, deeper, richer oomph color, you know, because all these jewel tones are just lovely. And I may even just go over just even a little bit further over into my eye so that there's a little bit of a gradient. I'll show you here on the other side once you can actually see what I'm doing. But oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Wow. You can see here where I'm just going over just a little bit further, over into that center just a little bit more with it, as well as covering the territory that I just went over. Almost reminds you of paint by number. I think there actually is a makeup called like paint by number where it tells you put this color here, put this color here. And the nice thing is putting the second color over it. If you're not exactly right over where that is, it doesn't matter as much because you already painted in that darker color. So now I may even take just a tiny bit of this on this brush and go over this line down here just a little bit to smudge that out just a little bit even more. I don't really see it's doing much to it, but maybe. It is pretty though, oh my goodness. Alright, that's good for that. Alright, I'm going to go back in with this brush here. Just going to wipe it off on my hand like I do. This brush here, this flat one from Wet n Wild. And I'm going to go into this color here, Gravity. here at the top. It's like this pinkish purple, and I'm going to do this part right in here with that color. Yeah, that should give a nice light middle part right there. Yeah, I like that. Do it over here on this side. Oof, my lights blinded me for a minute. Sometimes the lights on this makeup mirror are so bright they just blind you. One thing about these color profusion palettes, sometimes you'll get a hold of one of these shimmers, and this one's not one, but you'll get a hold of one of these shimmers. Like yesterday I used that one called Frosting yesterday, and it was just crumbly and it sort of went everywhere on my face. But you know what, as it wore through the day, it smoothed right out and it was actually fine. Alright, let's see here. I'm just going to get a little bit more on that tip so I can get down all the way down in there with that. Okay, now I have to wipe this off my brush here again, because I'm actually going to take, just to warm things up a little bit, and go back into Illusion. Actually, no. I'm going into this one called Chill. This more golder one. More golder. It sounds lovely, huh? And I'm going to go right here in this part right here underneath, and in my inner corner there at the tear duct with this color Chill. It's sort of a goldish color. That just sort of warms it up just a little bit, because all of this is very cool colors. So that just gives me a pop of warmth on my face, so I don't look like the Ice Princess. There we go. And right here at the tear ducts. Oh my gosh, I love these shimmers in this palette. Are just beautiful. These color profusion palettes, man, they're really good. They're really good. And what I'm finding though is the mattes are a little bit chalky, but not too bad. And the shimmers, some of them can be a little bit flaky, but not all of them. But for the most part, all of these are working really good. But look how many colors you get for, I think I paid $9.98 at Walmart. And they have tons of these. So, alright, next, okay, I'm going to wipe this off here really quickly. Wipe this off a little bit here. And I'm going to use this guy again here to sort of tip this out a little bit, soften it. Items I have for under $10 are, and this one will be interesting to use. This is LA Colors Liquid Eyeliner. Now I'm sure you can probably get a liquid eyeliner that's in a pen, but I don't have any today. But this LA Colors Liquid Liner was only $1 at the Dollar Tree. And then this one is the NYX Doll Eye Mascara. This particular one is waterproof. I don't know if you can find the waterproof around. It's a little harder, but they definitely have the regular. And this stuff does so well that it makes your eyelashes look like you're wearing fake eyelashes. And it rivals even some of the MAC eyeshadows, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. So I'm going to do these two. Go ahead and start with this liquid eyeliner. I haven't used this type of brush in eons, so we shall see how this goes. Okay, y'all, so this is the final look. Here's the eye look here. So, everything pretty well works well, and I wanted to show you a good look for under $10 a product. The only issue I had with any of the products really was with the LA Colors eyeliner. And I don't know if you could tell when I was putting it on, but when I first started putting it on, there's a great big glop came right in under here because I had too much of it on the little wand. And so I had to go in with Q-tips. I don't know if you could see here on the end of these two. Just a whole lot, and I mean on both sides there, that I had to really wipe out under there. And I had to wipe out so much of it that I had to actually reapply that little bit of gold eyeshadow that I was putting underneath of there. And so since I am going out tonight for our anniversary, I did kind of cheat and go back in with my regular eyeshadow pen. I better put this away before I spill it on myself on my white jeans. So that was the only product that I kind of had to cheat a little bit with. But anyway, most of it really, it went on well. And the real star of this, of the $10 products, I think is the Color Profusion palettes. I think for $10 for $9.98 at Walmart, you really can't beat this. I was just so taken when I saw that whole wall of color and all of the different palettes of these that you could get, because they had the Wanderlust, they had the Sultry palette, they had the Glitters palette, they had another one called Festival. Now the Festival palette ran $12.98, but they also had a whole lot more colors in the Festival palette. They had a Mattes palette, a Nudes palette, a Chocolates palette. I can't remember all the names because there were just tons of names of these, but I mean, you know, for $9.98, that's a deal, especially for as well as they work. I think that's a great deal. So anyway, I wanted to just show you that you can do a really nice look, even for going out for a nice evening like I'm getting ready to do, on a budget. You know, even with the more cost-effective tools, you can do that. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And so you remember that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And don't forget that, okay? So you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye till next time.